Well, hello and welcome to the All Things Leeds podcast, or the ATL podcast for short. It's episode 9. Thank you for tuning in, downloading and listening as always. My name's Ed. Please say that I'm joined in the studio today, as ever, by a Leeds United fan and my good friend Charles Foster. How are you, Charles?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad than this morning. Just me and you in the studio today, but still plenty of stuff to go over. We'll be looking back briefly on the game last week that saw Leeds United beat Swansea City 2-1 at Ellen Road. We'll also have a listen to a chat I had last week with Leeds United legend Tony DeRigo as well. We'll also be looking over the Leeds United under-23s. 2 wins for them this past week in the past few days. A few first-team players taking part in both of those games as they're coming back from injury, so we'll be discussing that, as well as looking over the under-23s who have signed new contracts at the club this week. Speaking of players with injuries, news came out that our highest goal scorer this season, striker Kemar Roofe, is out with injury. Awful news there. However, good news in fact that Spygate is now over. £200,000 fine handed to Leeds, no points deduction, thank goodness. We'll be finishing off by looking ahead to Leeds United's game this Saturday. See them take on Bolton Wanderers at Ellen Road. Plenty of stuff coming up. Well, let's start then, shall we? With the game last week, Leeds United's game last week. We'll just go over that very quickly, as it was exactly a week ago, last Wednesday night. 2-1 win over Swansea City at Ellen Road. A really good game, this one, and a really good performance by Leeds as well. Yeah,
great performance by Leeds, especially in the first half. We played really quite well. Created a lot of chances. We're unusually clinical, and we could have had a few more, to be honest. We could have been 4-0 up at half-time.
Yeah, I mean, we dominated this game from the first minute to the 80th minute, really. It was the last 10 minutes or so that were quite nervy for Leeds United. But, yeah, it was really dominant performance from Leeds United. And a 2-1 scoreline probably should have, and it should have been a lot more of a convincing scoreline.
Yeah, 2-1 makes it sound that it kind of makes it look like, oh yeah, they beat them, but it was pretty close. It wasn't. It just wasn't. We should have beaten them 3 or 4-0.
Yeah,
we really should have done. But we scored 2 good goals. We got 3 points. At this stage of the season, it's all about getting the 3 points. No matter really how you get them.
Yeah.
Earlier in the season, October, November, December, those are the time for good performances. Now we're in the. I think we just passed the 2/3 point in the season. So this is the time where we need to start grinding out wins. Although this wasn't a grind out, but we need to get wins by any means possible. That's a better way of saying it.
Yeah, 3 points is all that matters. But you mentioned the goals there, real good goals as well. First one coming on the 20th minute, Pontus Jansson. Stemmed from a corner, it was cleared out as far as Alioski on the edge of the box. His shot was deflected into the path of Pontus Jansson. Then on return, he hit it first time with his weaker left foot, getting into that bottom left-hand corner. Really, really good finish from Pontus Jansson. He's a defender as well. But, he used to play striker in his early days, but he's been playing defence for years and years. So, real good finish from him.
Yeah, great finish. It was a fair play to Alioski for having a pop, and I saw a lot of Swansea fans, and I think maybe one or two of their players, I'm not too sure, but definitely what Swansea fans were saying, that it was offside, because I think Ayling was offside when the ball fell to Janssen, and it looked like they were all 3 of them, but Janssen was the only one that was onside. But yeah, it was a great turn, great finish, and he was definitely onside because he was being played on by at least one Swansea defender.
Yeah, definitely onside. But then you seem to be a lot more impressed by the second goal that we scored. Just 40 minutes later, 34th minute. Alioski, it was a good move, really. I look back at it, and the entire move from the goalkeeper, Casilla, up until the goal, it was a really good overall move. Alioski's cross, and then Jack Harrison with the header catching their keeper out. It was a really good goal.
Yeah, it was a crossfield ball from Luke Ayling that found Alioski. It was one of the rare times we switched wings. Obviously we try it a lot, but often we don't. They don't find each other that well. He found Alioski and who took it down while running, so we gained a lot of ground there. And then obviously they've worked. Jack Harrison was saying in an interview that him and Alioski have worked on those kind of situations to get him more involved in the goal scoring. So yeah, it was a good chipped ball and a great glancing header. So it was just a good move. I was more impressed. I thought the Janssen goal, while good, was a bit more fortunate. This wasn't fortunate. This was designed.
Yeah. But that got us 2-0 up, though. I mean, nothing less than what we deserved. We really were dominant this game. The only threat for Swansea, really, was Dan James, of all people. Dan James, he looked good, and I was watching him thinking, man, if we had Dan James, we'd walk this league towards the end of the season.
I'm not too sure if he'd walk the league, but I think he'd make things easier with his pace of breaking down team defences and getting back by the fullback.
Yeah, because we don't have that pace, do we?
Especially without Jack Clark out sick. Yeah, they were a lot better when Ollie Burney came on. You can really tell that he's their best player. He had a bit more physical presence, a bit of pace, and he carved out the chance for their penalty as well.
Yeah.
In the second half, because he fed the ball through, and then obviously Luke Ayling made a mistake, but he still fed the ball through.
Yeah, but I mean 2-0 should have been 3-0 very shortly after. Patrick Bamford missing an absolute sitter here. Cross from Pablo Hernandez, header from about 6 yards out. How he doesn't score this is beyond me.
Well, we couldn't really believe that he'd missed it, could we, with the chance it was. We all thought he was going to head it in when the ball came to him. I mean, Pablo puts them kind of balls in all the time. And I think Roofe scoring against Ipswich with that kind of ball, just one over the top, and Roofe scored it. But yeah, Bamford he literally headed it straight at the keeper. If he headed it anywhere else, he'd have scored.
Yeah, exactly. But it should have been 3 or 4-0 by half time, but it wasn't 2-0 at half time. But we'll continue to dominate into the second half. Still getting plenty of chances here as well, and you know we conceded penalty late on. It was nervy the last 15 minutes. You want to talk about game management, though, don't you? We were talking up here.
Yeah, we were talking off air about the off air. You know what I mean? the game management, because I thought even before their penalty on kind of the 75th minute onwards, we kind of let our foot off the gas. We sat back. We stopped doing what we normally do. We stopped pressuring the ball. We just kind of thought, right, 2-0. 75 minutes in, we're at home, this game's won. And that's not how the Championship works.
No.
You need to play it for the full 90 minutes, otherwise, as QPR found out last night, you get punished.
Do you think that's a weakness of Bielsa's game then? He can't seem to quite think, all right, how are we going to see this game out?
I wouldn't say it's a weakness in the game, because it's not like Bielsa's told him to just sit back after 75 minutes. Bielsa will never tell his players to sit back.
No.
I think the players will have thought, we've got this. We don't need to do as much running about now, because obviously they do a lot of running about during the game. We can just see this out. And you could see Janssen was telling everyone to calm down, because Swansea had a couple of free kicks and Casilla caught one from Matt Grimes.
Had a really good game, Casilla, this game.
Yeah, he did. I was extremely annoyed at Luke Ayling for costing him his first clean sheet.
Yeah.
Which I was talking to you about. But yeah, what was I saying? Distracted me there.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Luke Ayling there costing Casilla a clean sheet. Of course, it was Ayling who gave away a penalty on the 87th minute. A stupid challenge, this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was running away from goal. Luke Ayling could have just shepherded him to the byline, and then.
I mean, he was going nowhere there, player.
I mean, the worst that would have happened would we would have conceded a corner. That was the worst that was going to happen. The best obviously would have been a goal kick, but and corner, we could have dealt with the corner, moved on, 2-0. Sticking a leg in like that when you're 2-0 up at home in a game you need to win with 87th minute, and because of the referee, they had another 8 minutes left to do something.
But it was clumsy.
It was a silly decision.
Yeah, definitely from Luke Ayling. And Ollie McBurney, he stepped up as always. The class of him, he's going to score a penalty. 2-1. Really, really nervy. As I say, there were 4 minutes of added time. Referee ended up playing about 6 minutes of added time. I think he was kind of annoyed at Casilla's time wasting here. I love that though, Casilla. He's come to Leeds and he's already time wasting.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't just him though. Everyone was time wasting.
Yeah.
But he was particularly time wasting off kind of offside free kicks and things like that. He'd meander over to the ball, pick that up, meander back over, put it down, move the ball, shepherd everyone up the field. I think it took him a minute to take one of the free kicks.
But yeah, I mean, 2-1, really nervy, but it shouldn't have been nervy. If we bury our chances that we had, especially in the first half, Patrick Bamford, that really good chance after we went 2-0 up. 3-4-0, the game should have been dead and buried a long time ago. But it got really, really nervy, didn't it?
If we buried our chances, we'd be 20 points clear, mate.
That seems to be the thing throughout the season. But our defence saw it out, defence and midfield. It really, stand-up players for me, Pontus Jansson, Liam Cooper and Calvin Phillips. Those three there,
the triangle.
They were just brilliant this game.
The Holy Trinity. What a bunch of players. That triangle there is what's got us to where we are in the league. As much as Kemar Roofe's goals and Pablo Hernandez's magic, that triangle there, when they've all been playing together and they've all been orchestrating the games we've been playing, they've won it. If we go up or win the league, they'll have won it for us.
But yeah, I mean, those three were just incredible. I mean, Calvin Phillips probably had his best game
in a Leeds
United shirt,
yeah.
and I didn't even give him the man of the match. That's how good Pontus Jansson was.
I did.
I gave Pontus Jansson the man of the match for his leadership towards the end of the game, because he was leading everyone really. He
was just telling everyone to settle down, because he could tell that everyone was getting a bit nervy and putting in stupid challenges. And then about 5 minutes later, Luke Ayling didn't listen to him and put in a stupid challenge.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was fuming with Luke Ayling about giving the penalty away as well. You could see it.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, for his goal as well, and because it was his birthday, I just felt a bit harsh not giving him it. But all three of them just incredible for me. Liam Cooper, no one seemed to mention him. Mateusz Klich as well. He had a really, really good game for once. He hasn't been too great. Yeah, it's 2 goals against Rotherham, but he hasn't been too great.
I didn't notice him much, but perhaps that's a good thing, because every time I seem to notice Klich, it's because he's doing
he's having a bad game.
Yeah, it's because he's not doing certain things. But he won the ball quite high up the field a few times. Some nice interlinking play with Roofe, and he had a decent game.
Yeah.
I thought everyone's moaning about the left-hand side with Alioski and Harrison. They combined for the second goal, so you can't even moan about that.
Yeah, I thought they had a really good game. Overall, I think everyone played the part, and it was just overall a really good performance.
I don't think anyone had a poor performance.
No. But, well, it was 2-1 to Leeds' final score, obviously. And Norwich lost 3-1 away at Preston that night. So that, so 3 points stuck as 1 point clear at the top of the Championship. But we had no game last Saturday, thanks to Queen's Park Rangers' involvement in the FA Cup.
Cheers, lads.
QPR for that. Everyone else played though, and pretty much every result did not go our way. Norwich beat Bolton away 4-0. Sheffield United beat Reading 4-0 at home. West Brom 2-0 in the end, was it?
Yeah, Middlesbrough won as well.
Yeah, Middlesbrough won on the Sunday, 1-0.
Almost nobody drew or lost. It was ridiculous how many people.
And then Tuesday night as well, West Brom away at QPR. QPR scored twice to level the game, and then West Brom in the last minute.
I was not happy about that.
Yeah, so this is how the table stands then. So Norwich are top of the league on 63 points. Sheffield United are second on 61. We're third on goal difference, but we do have a game in hand on the teams on Norwich and Sheffield United. We also have a game in hand on West Brom now as well, because they played on Tuesday night. They're 1 point behind us though, so we need to win our game in hand against Queen's Park Rangers next Tuesday, definitely. But Middlesbrough, they're not too far behind as well. But I mean, you look at the top 4 though, how tight is that? I mean, I think everyone's just saying, no, it's always kind of tight really. It just wasn't tight last season because Wolves were about 15 points ahead of everyone else. But 4 points separate the top 4 teams. It's ridiculous. This is the kind of league where
this season has the kind of league where if you were neutral, you'd absolutely love it, because you don't really know who's going to win. And it is one of the best parts about the Championship, is that anyone in any given season can win it, really, unlike the Premier League where 3 clubs can win it, realistically. But yeah, 4 points separate the top 4. It couldn't really have gone worse for us the weekend. I mean, especially if we'd have played and won, I wouldn't have cared really. Because you just stay where you are, don't you? It doesn't really change. Everyone goes up by a few points. But thanks to QPR and Watford, we now have to sit and suffer the people on Leeds United Twitter and Facebook who just make it out like we're getting relegated.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the most Leedsiest weekend ever, and we didn't even play. Everyone were like, our season's over now. We didn't even play. Chill out.
What wound me up was just the people on these banter pages on other teams' Twitter where they're all like,
Championship banter on Facebook. That was...
Leeds are falling apart again. Didn't actually play, did we, though, you bug?
But, I mean, 2 very good footballing teams are going to miss out on the automatic promotion places this season, and it's going to be tough. I mean, last season...
I'm a bit worried we're going to be one of those 2 teams.
Mate,
I'm not, honestly, mate, I'm not being pessimistic or depressed or anything like that. I just think that at the moment, at this moment in time, Sheffield United and Norwich are more consistent than we are. And consistency is what gets you up in this league. If we can turn that on a bit and go on another run like we did on that 7-game winning streak, I think we'll be fine. But it's the case of doing that. It's not easy.
But yeah, of course we got Bolton at home this weekend. We'll preview that shortly. But some big games this weekend as well with on a Saturday night, West Brom at home against Sheffield United. That's massive, and one team's going to drop points. So if we beat Bolton, then we're staying up near the top and in the top 2, you'd imagine.
Need a draw really from that game.
Yeah. But that's how the table's looking. Charles, are you still optimistic about the season?
Of course I will. I'll never not be optimistic about a Leeds season. I mean, towards the back end of last season, I was struggling to keep my interest in going to the games every week because we were just awful, but and it was just spending money, but for no reason sometimes. But I am optimistic. I am really optimistic. I think we are going to go far. We just need to. We need to do what Sheffield United do, because every time Sheffield United plays someone low down the table, they slap them about. We don't really do that. No. We don't really slap anyone about. If we win, we make it hard in the traditional Leeds way of making it unnecessarily hard for ourselves. But if we need, for the next 3 games, we need 7 points.
Yeah,
that's that's a minimum. That's not all we can get away with dropping points against Bolton QPR. Those need to be 2 wins, and we can probably. I'd accept a point against West Brom. I want the 3, obviously, because we're at home, but 7 points I'll be satisfied with.
Yeah. Unlike a lot of Leeds fans, I'm still fairly optimistic about this season. I'll tell you who is very optimistic. Leeds United legend Tony Arrigo. He's very optimistic about this season, as we spoke to him last week, didn't we? Tony Arrigo, one of the nicest people.
He's a top bloke.
Top bloke. You look at all these footballers, they seem to, they feel like the God's gift. Tony Arrigo, absolute gentleman. But now, if you don't know who he is, if you were born quite a while after, if you're not sure about that team, former left back who joined Leeds in 1991 and left in 1997. In his first season at the club, he won the 1992 First Division title as well as the Fans' Player of the Year, and then shortly after won the Charity Shield. A true club legend, definitely. And we spoke to him last week. Amazing guy, and he was just telling us how impressed he's been with Leeds United this season.
The difference, I think, in the change around from what we were in the previous seasons is remarkable, isn't it? Because if you think we've got the same players, and Marcelo Bielsa comes in, changes the complete attitude of the club, of the players, the style, and we're playing, I think, a brand of football that everyone likes and enjoys, high tempo with great ability, and we're up near the top. So long may it continue. We've still got a few games to go, and what we, of course, all want is promotion. But I do think we're in a great position.
Yeah, and you mentioned Marcelo Bielsa. He seems to have had a massive impact at Leeds United. Just what are your overall thoughts on Bielsa?
Well, I knew a lot about Bielsa before, obviously with his national coaching career. Then he's obviously Marseille, Lazio. Volatile in that. I remember his time at Lazio when obviously he had agreed to get 4, 5, 6 players before pre-season. He then comes back to Rome. Those players didn't arrive and he walks. So it's clearly very strong-minded and very, I suppose, dedicated to a style of play and a way of managing. And I thought when Leeds got him, I thought, well, this could go 2 ways. This could be very, very good or a complete disaster. Because, that style in the Championship, how's it going to last? How's it going to do? Well, I've been proved wrong in that. He's been fantastic. And to have the same players that we had last season, to get them to play such a different way, with the confidence that they're playing with, is down to the manager. And he is a manager in the true sense of the word, in that he gets the best out of the players that he's got, not go and spend 50 million and make a better side. So he's been absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. He's doing a fantastic job. But at the moment, the team are going through a tricky patch. At the time we're talking, just 2 wins in past 7 Championship games. Every team seems to go through a patch like this. Why do you think that is, and what do you think Leeds United need to do to try and get back to winning games regularly?
I think the Championship is a really, really difficult league. I'm not going to say average league, because that's wrong. I think it's quite level. So I think you look at the top, half of the table, anyone could beat anyone. It's proven that by the points tallies that Norwich have got and that we've got. No one's streaking away with it. There isn't a Wolverhampton Wanderers with that sort of class of last season. And for us, I think the style that we play is a winning style, absolutely. But what we can't keep doing is giving goals away. So we keep giving the first goal away. And okay, we keep coming back and showing great fight, great spirit, which is commendable, but can we not get ahead and not show that and just run away with it 2 or 3-0? I feel like we're going to give someone a hiding 3 or 4-0, because the other issue I think we've got is that we take too many chances to score goals. So we need to be a bit more ruthless in front of goal, because our possession stats, the areas of the pitch we dominate, and the shots on target all say, we are dominating games. Well, you need to dominate the scoreline then, and we're not doing that. So that's the only thing I would say. But after that, if we keep doing the right things, we'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, everyone's going to have a bit of a lull. Hopefully this is ours. We've got a couple of players coming back as well from injury. So if Bamford, geez, that's a long time ago. If Bamford can get back fit, like we know, that would be amazing. And of course, Izzy Brown, if we can get him involved, that'd be great as well. Yeah,
and you mentioned the goals that Leeds United are conceding to try and help stop that. Brought in Kiko Casilla from Real Madrid, new goalkeeper to replace Bailey P. got Farrell. Now, of course, you were a defender, left back. How important is it for the defence to have a goalkeeper behind them? Not just play, regularly, but also, a goalkeeper who they're confident in.
Very important. I think it's important to know exactly what your co-defenders are going to do, and you work as a unit. That is the most important thing. Everyone has to be on the same wavelength. I think Bailey Peacock-Farrell did fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Young keeper. He'll have a lot more years ahead of him. He made 1 or 2 little mistakes, but not too many at all, and I thought he was tremendous. But Kiko's a cut above. Simple as that. For me, he exudes confidence. Absolutely. So if he was behind me, I know exactly what's going on. We're lucky to have him. He pulled off an incredible save at Rotherham, which kind of saved us. Then we come back and won 2-1. And he's learning as well about the championship. But yeah, he looks very, very confident and a good goalie.
Yeah, we've also seen the defence chopping change as well. Players stepping in, Calvin Phillips, a number of different fullbacks as well. Is it important for you though that the defence stays the same and consistent throughout the season, or do players not mind the chopping and changing?
They do mind. I think it's important that you do have that understanding, and for that you need to play together, week in, week out. I realise now with the amount of games we've got, sometimes that's going to change, and of course the injuries, it will change again. But if you keep that to a minimum, that is certainly better, and everyone gets an understanding. Now we've got a new keeper as well, so we're still integrating, a few players at a time. But I think what has been important is clearly the pre-season and all the training sessions under Marcelo, in that I think every single defender knows what's expected of him. And so when someone does come in, it's not new. It's a case of I know what I'm supposed to do, I know how I'm supposed to do it, and you get on with it. And I think that's kind of what you've seen.
Yeah, and finally, I'll put you on the spot here. Do you think Leeds United will win promotion this season? Do you see the kind of stuff in the team too that could possibly get promoted this season?
Could possibly. Come on, be confident, man. Yes, we're going up. Of course we are. I think I don't see anything out there that's going to scare us. Absolutely. I think our best 11 is as good as, if not the best 11 in the Championship. We've got to stop those injuries. And after that, I think our home form, it's important that the crowd get behind us. And if we can stop leaking the first goal, I think we'll be okay. But is it going to be easy? No. That's not the Leeds way, is it? But I think we are going to do it.
Leeds United legend there, Tony Dorigo. We hope you all enjoyed that. Very optimistic there is Tony. A lot of stuff to talk about really from that. First of all, his opinions on Bielsa. And I definitely agree with him, to come in with the same players from last season who struggled so much and to come and have the impact that he has had, it's remarkable.
Yeah, you've always it's like one of them sports films you sometimes see come out of like Hollywood, where there's I think like Coach Carter, where they just send in like a really talented coach and there's a bunch of underperforming players, and then they go ahead and win the championship or win the league or something like that. It is very similar to one of them. Also, I know we didn't. We haven't talked about this beforehand, but apparently there's been film crews around Ellen Road, so we might end up with our own version of Sunderland Till We Die on Netflix.
I don't think if we don't go up, I won't enjoy that. I probably won't watch it.
No, but if we do go up, I think they'll release it.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be awesome. Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of Bielsa. Is Dorigo. He reckons that the style of play is so different from last year, which I think we all agree with.
It definitely is.
Yeah, it's so much better and so much more crisp and creative and just kind of dominant than we've had in previous years. And he's a I mean, obviously he's a little bit biased as a former Leeds player for a few years, but he's a huge fan of him.
Yeah, definitely, and kind of the Bielsa's impact of a club. You were saying it's kind of similar to Wilkinson when he came into Leeds. He came into Leeds, a lot of underperforming players, finished fourth in the first season in the first division, then of course won the league straight after. So you were kind of saying off air there that they kind of have the same impact, really.
Well, yeah, because I think Wilco came in after Eddie Gray and Billy Brennan had been managing. And they were kind of just near the bottom of the second division, kind of lower mid-table, and the players weren't really achieving much. They were kind of getting away with not doing much training and going out drinking on the weekends and stuff like that. And of course, Wilco was famously a disciplinarian, and so is Bielsa. They're very similar in that aspect. They demand respect and they demand absolute work rate from their players, and they achieve results because of it. And so there's similarities between that 89-90 season when we got promoted out of the second division, along with Sheffield United, and this season where we might end up promoted with Sheffield United if things go a certain way.
It's crazy, isn't it? Also, it was on about the our season going forward. We keep on conceding first goal. Swansea game, first game in 8 that we hadn't conceded first. That does seem to be a problem, doesn't it? And it kind of links with the other thing that I was saying with I asked him about the defence. They were saying the players need to kind of play together every week to get that understanding. So it kind of links together, really.
Well, it's like we were saying, we need the triangle. When Adam Forshaw's in the team, we don't have the triangle, do we?
No.
We have that when we have Calvin Phillips in defensive midfield and Pontus Jansson and Liam Cooper in the centre of defence. They've got a great partnership, and we need to keep these partnerships, because obviously with Barry Douglas being out, that's another partnership lost. They've got to build it up with Alioski, and then once Douglas is back, they've got to rebuild it with Douglas. It's these kind of chop and changes which you can afford to do with wingers and forwards, but you can't really afford to do with your defence very much, because defensive partnerships are, I think, more important than attacking partnerships for the kind of relationships that you need.
Yeah, and I think that's why we've been clever with Kiko Casilla coming in. He's come in and he's played every game since the Rotherham game. You don't want to keep on taking goalkeepers out either. It kind of works all the same. But very interesting talk there. We'll listen to the second one now that I had with Tunderigo, and he was telling me just how his move to Leeds came about.
I was at Chelsea previously. Then obviously I saw the lights. I made a big mistake signing for Chelsea and needed to get out of there and come to Leeds. No, I think at the time when I was at Chelsea, we had some really good players and we could certainly challenge, but I think off-field issues meant that the idea of winning something was something very, very difficult. So I wanted to win things, so I decided to move on. I had to wait for my contract to run out. I could have had one or two other clubs to go to, Glasgow Rangers certainly being one of them. But then Leeds came in, and Howard met me and was very forceful in wanting me to sign. And it's nice as a player, I think, to feel wanted. I really like the fact that you'd been promoted, finished fourth, and then he was still looking to improve again. Myself, Steve Hodge, Rod Wallace was the idea of bringing some England internationals in as well. So I thought, you know what, you've got some great players there, and maybe one or two of us could help, and then away we go. So he convinced me to come to Leeds, and good decision.
And you mentioned winning trophies there, and you won a trophy in your first season at Leeds United, the 92 First Division title. The last time the top flight of English football was called the First Division. When you look back on your time at Leeds, is that the moment that sticks out for you, and what memories can you share from your time at Leeds?
Absolutely, because if you look at a season, top level, it's a long old season, so many games, and to be the best of any team in England at that point is pretty impressive. So you go through ups and downs, but to stick together as we did and grow as a team, some of the performances that season were fantastic. Villa away, Sheffield Wednesday away, big games are on telly. Like now they're all on telly, but then the focus was very much on us, and the way we played in some of those games was fantastic. So it's a very special thing, because it's momentum. And so your form as an individual and as a team just gets better and better and better. And to win it at the end of it was something very, very special. And you don't know if it's going to happen again or not. It didn't, but tell you what, it did happen, and we were certainly thankful for that. So that's a very special year for me.
Yeah, and you played very well that season. Of course, won the Fantasy Player of the Year rather. How did that feel, winning the Fantasy Player of the Year? The Leeds fans are famous for their support. So how did that feel? Very,
very special. But also, I think it could have gone to any one of 10 of us, to be honest, because some great performances throughout that season. Our midfield was incredible. But I feel honoured simply because normally when clubs are winning things, it's the striker or your midfielder that gets the glory type of thing. But for a little old fullback to get it was very nice. So I'll always be thankful for that. And you played with many great players at your time at Leeds: Gordon Strachan, Chapman, dare I say Eric Cantona as well, and also Gary Speed as well. Now, keeping it all things Leeds, who was the best player you played with at Leeds United? It's very difficult to single one out, because we had some great players at that time, but you look at that midfield, to be honest, and Strack, the experience that he had, but the way that he played and led the side was wonderful. Then you got Gary McAllister with the ball at his feet, the passing ability, the way he controlled a game was magnificent. Gary Speed, who played in front of me, never a better player to play with, because he had everything. He wanted to help out, left foot, right foot, tackled, can take people on, headers, you name it, he had it. But I suppose the one slightly unsung hero for me on the outskirts, not so much for Leeds fans obviously, was David Batty. I thought he was just tremendous, and he had a great season that season as well. And I think he really instigated the tempo in so many games right at the start. It was a Batty tackle, that suddenly got everything going, and off we went again. So I thought he was, had a huge part to play.
And going back onto that 92 season, you were part of a team who, of course, were successful, and you know the types of players that are needed and the characteristics that the players need to be successful at Leeds United. Do you see those types of players at Leeds United currently, and do you think that they have the characteristics to go on and win that promotion at the end of the season?
I think you're right in the point that you have to be a special type of player and understand the pressures and what have you of playing at Ellen Road. But if you do, you turn that in your favour, and it's such a boost. And I think our team, we certainly had big characters. We'd played, a lot of us, international football, so we'd been on biggest of stages. But even so, when you've got that passion behind you, maybe things don't go quite right, you need to be able to handle that correctly. And I do think, obviously, in the last 10, 12, 15 years, some players have found wanting at that, simple as that. But I think this group of players are learning and getting better and better at that, and I do think the way they stick together and come back in games is commendable. They have a spirit as a unit, not individually, togetherness, which is pretty impressive. And that reminds me of that time. So still plenty to go, 15 games, still a long way to go, and they will be tested again and again and again, but the signs are very good.
And just on you as well, so you stopped playing football in 2001, and we've seen you do a lot of TV work, video work. You're now getting into a career of modelling.
Modelling, obviously. Paris, Milan, yes, they'll be on the phone, but don't worry, going nowhere, it's fine.
Did you never want to try and get into coaching at all?
I have got my some badges, did all that. I got offered an assistant job at a championship club. Didn't think that was quite right. I then went to TV, had a full-time 3-year TV deal. So I think whatever you do, you've got to really want to do it, and then you'll enjoy it that much more. I wasn't completely convinced. The TV and the media stuff I really enjoy. So I still do a lot of TV now. I do City Arco comms, I do Europa League, Champions League, I go out to the Middle East, I do a lot of stuff, so which is nice. However, I now do lots of Leeds United stuff, which is brilliant. So I see every single game, I do Leeds United TV, and so I build everything around Leeds, to be honest, because it's good to be back, and it's good to see, I think, some positive people and the team. Everything is going in the right direction, and it's a great place to be. So coaching, I tell you what, look how young I look, you see, that's why. Have you seen managers, for God's sake? They're bald, they got no hair, they're grey, me, no, I'm fine, it's good. So I can look from the outside.
Tony Rigo there, very interesting talk there about his career. Just one thing that we want to go over was when I asked him about his favourite player at his time at Leeds, he said David Batty. Bit surprised about that.
Yeah, well, most people say Gordon Strachan because of his kind of, he was a bit like similar to Pablo Hernandez in his ability to kind of maestro a side, but obviously to a much greater degree with Strachan, and he kind of he was kind of the catalyst that got Leeds out of the second division. He was despite being in his 30s, he really was in prime physical condition, and he was just absolute magic for that team in the same way, in a similar way to, although to not quite as great a degree, that Hernandez is to this team.
Yeah, but you look at that midfield forward, they were just incredible, wasn't it? Gary Speed, Gordon Strachan, McAllister, and Batty, all four of them were great. But really interesting talk there from Tony Dorigo, really good insight. But let's move on to the Leeds United 23s then, shall we? Let's start with their two games. The first one being on Friday night away at Neverport Park in Giley. They beat Notts County 2-1. Cup competition, this one. Izzy Brown getting on the score sheet here. We've seen him on the bench in the past few championship games. I can't wait to see him involved though. Yeah, he always seems to be scoring for the under-23s. Yeah,
I think it was a penalty this one. He got a through ball in the box, and he just got hacked out, and he put away the penalty quite nicely. I mean, he won't be practicing that skill much in the senior team because we don't get penalties in the senior team, but it's nice to see him. I think he's got, is it 6 goals in 11 appearances for the under-23s, which is an excellent record.
A really good record. I mean, the under-23s, you say what you want, but it's still not too easy, really. He's still playing competitive football matches. But we'll of course go on to the Kemar Roofe injury. We'll go on to that in a second. Whether Izzy Brown needs to play there, but quite a lot of first teamers played indeed in this one as well, and 2 games as well over the past few days. Providing Dallas for Maine, 2 being them coming back from injury. Getting through half an hour of this first one, getting through the one on Monday as well, which is a good sign, really. Dallas, I don't think he'll go straight in, whether you chuck him in at left back when he gets match fit, I'm not sure. But Berardi for you, does he go straight in?
What I like about Berardi is the man tore the hamstring off his bone about 3 months ago, and he's forced his way back in without surgery out of kind of sheer willpower because he's a machine.
He just loves Leeds United, and it shows the will that he really wants to get back out there.
Well, he refused to have surgery so he could contribute to the season.
Yeah.
Which is admirable.
It's great. I mean, Berardi, you look at when Cellino first came in and other players that he brought in, Berardi is the only one from that who is still here, and he's the only one who really wants to play for Leeds. And you saw it back then because there was that thing about where players were faking injuries to not play for Leeds. Berardi wasn't one of them. So.
Sick note 6, weren't they? Dicara was one of them. I think Belushi was one of them.
Silvestri.
Silvestri.
Yeah. He had a big bruise on his back. Something.
Yeah, just people refusing to play for Leeds. Disgraceful given the wages they were on, but he refused to he wanted to play, so he refused to do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
Berardi's just
kind of set the tone for his Leeds career, really.
Yeah, really good players, Berardi. But yeah, does he go straight into that first team? Do we move to a back three maybe, and Pontus, Cooper, and Berardi?
I think Barry Douglas would thrive more in a back three,
and Alioski as well,
and as a wing back. But the thing is, on the right hand side, Hernandez wouldn't be able to do a wing back type of role. He's not got the legs for it, so Hernandez would have to go back in the 10, which so he'd have to do a lot of thinking about where you'd put certain players.
I think Hernandez, for me personally, he's better as a number 10.
I prefer him on the wing. He gets more space.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, but I mean, for me, I reckon that you do go to a back three: Berardi, Pontus, and Cooper. Maybe you risk chucking Berardi straight in, but yeah, for me, back three, because Ayling, he always seems to be diving forward and keep on out position defending. Alioski as well, he seems to be holding Jack Harrison's hand the entire time he's going forward. Douglas as well, he played left wing back when he got promoted to Wolves. I think that's the system that you kind of need to play when. I mean, a lot of thinking to do when we get players back fit, but
that's why Marcelo Bielsa gets paid £2 million a year, and we don't.
But some really good stuff there with the first teamers coming back, and then of course on Monday, the under-23s beat Bolton Wanderers 2-0 at Ellen Road. Hopefully the first team can produce the same 3 points. A good crowd there as well, which is great to see. I saw pictures of the crowd lining up as well outside Ellen Road to get tickets for this one, which is really good. A few standout players though for me. One being Clark Adore. No one seems to talk about him, but I was really impressed with him this game, and I've been impressed with him all season.
Yeah, there's a few of them that go under the radar in the 23s. Alfie McCalmont goes under the radar a bit, but he's an excellent deep line midfielder. Great when it's kind of Calvin Phillips-esque type player in the way that he's winning the ball back and finding the passes into dangerous areas. Adore, he's a good winger. Bobby Camwell, I've been impressed with him when I've seen him, although he's only just kind of made the jump from the under-18s to the under-23s. They all go under the radar because people are focusing on the likes of Clark and Shackleton and Edmondson and people like that. But there's a load of gems in there. It's just statistically, only a couple of them were going to make it into the first team at Leeds. I mean, Leeds are one of the best clubs for bringing youth talent through, but even still, not many players make it from youth level to senior level at the same. Well, they do, but not at the same club. A lot of them will go through a youth level one club and then sign for a different club at senior level. Very few players go all the way through the youth level and then spend their entire career at Leeds. I think. In Leeds history, I think one of the only players to spend his entire career at Leeds is Paul Madeley. He was born in Leeds, spent his entire career at Leeds and retired at Leeds. Yeah. Even Brendan, he's not from Leeds, he's from Scotland, but he didn't finish his career at Leeds.
No. Good to see Edmondson playing this game as well. Edmondson playing against Bolton. Izzy Brown, he looked good. He struck me in this game as well. Izzy Brown, he's just so big as well. He's massive.
6'1", I think.
And then with his hair as well, he just looks massive. Hugo Diaz, really, really good.
Absolute baller is Diaz.
Yeah, really, really good. And holding midfielder. Does he deserve a first team shot, do you think?
He got his debut last year. I think at Preston, we were there, Preston away. I think we just started playing youth players, didn't we? Because the season was over. So I was always impressed with him going forward. I wasn't overly impressed with him defending because he's very skillful, but he does tend to overplay a little bit. So but when he's finding passes going forward, is as you'll see from the highlights, the first goal in particular, the ball he sends through is absolutely filthy. if I finds a strike, it's John Stevens, and who rounds the keeper and just slots it in. It's such a superb through ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it sliced their team open. If if we could do that against the senior team, I'd be at the weekend. I'd appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, Hugo Diaz, a really stand-up player, and one that you need to watch out for, really.
Yeah.
The most standout player for me though in this game has to be said, Robbie Gotts. He was brilliant. Of course, scored this second goal, really good goal as well from him. But Robbie Gotts, he looked great, and we kind of got that hold there in that attacking midfield role, in that forward role. So maybe
he's a bit unfortunate that his positions are exactly the same as Jamie Shackleton's.
Yeah,
they're both
similar players as well. Both have a lot of speed,
skill. They can both play right back or attacking midfield. They're very similar players. But Shackleton's been given the nod, whereas Gotts hasn't, which is a shame because Gotts looks very impressive every time I see him play.
Yeah, he looks very good.
But I would like to see him make the bench at least with the first team, and maybe get an appearance if we're in cruise control. That'd be nice to see him get a few minutes on the because the thing is with youth players is if you chuck him in at the deep end like we have to do with Leif Davis at Aston Villa away, sometimes it's a bit sink or swim. Whereas if you chuck him in when we're 2-0 up or 3-0 up against Bolton, which I hope is the case at the weekend. if you chuck someone with 10 minutes on to go, they can soak in the atmosphere out on the road without the pressure of needing to really, really perform. Like if it's 1-1 in the 80th minute and we need to go on and win the game, that's not the right atmosphere for a youth player. If you're 3 or 4-0 up, you just go on, you run about a bit, win a couple of balls, try a couple of things, impress the crowd, and then you can ease in a bit easy. Well, ease in a bit easy sounds stupid, but you know what I mean. You can ease in more easily.
Yeah, but yeah, Robbie Gotts, I would love to see him in the first team soon. Of course, 2 under-23 players, both Clark Adore and Robbie Gotts have signed new deals at Leeds United, which is great. It makes a good change from what we've seen in the past few years. Adore, only 1.5-year contract that he signed, takes him to the until summer of 2020. Gotts a 3-year deal though, which is great. And yeah, like I say, it just makes a nice change from what we've been used to over the past few years.
Well, I think Gotts is a Leeds lad. He's definitely from Yorkshire. So I'm not certain about this, but I don't think Clark Adore is. So I think that might be a fact. I think Clark Adore will be thinking, was he 18, 19? If I don't break through into at least onto the bench of the first team by the time I'm 20, 21, I want to be moving on. Whereas Gotts is probably got a more long-term view of thinking, I want to play for this club.
And we've been seeing him on the bench as well, where Adore we haven't.
Yeah, Adore's not really been breaking through to the first team at all. I think Gotts has got 3. I think he's been on the bench 3 times. Oh, he's not made an appearance, but he's been ready and waiting a bit like Clark. I think he figures that if he's on there enough, like Shackleton and Clark, he'll eventually get the nod. And you always see with players that are born in Leeds and York and Hull and places like that that play for that are in Leeds' youth academy. They're more willing to commit themselves to Leeds than players who haven't got any ties to the area, which is fair enough. I don't expect players to have absolute loyalty to Leeds if they're not from here and they're not getting the opportunity. Yeah, by all means, move on.
Mm-hmm. But you'd imagine that a few of them would probably get a chance in the first team now with the injury to Kemar Roofe. Of course, Leeds United announcing it on Monday. We're kind of bubbling through on the weekend. We got the picture of Kemar Roofe in Leeds City Centre, pictured with a fan. The fan saying that Kemar Roofe told him that he's going to be out for a long time. We were really scared, really worried. Leeds United announced nothing, but he had tests on a Monday and he's out with injury. Highest goal scorer this season. Injuring his knee ligaments. Leeds United didn't announce how long it would be, but it kind of indicates to me that it's going to be a long time.
Phil said the absolute certain thing that the club have definitely said is they think he will play a game before the end of the season. But you know what Bielsa's like with easing players back in from injury, he's a bit tentative. So
although he has rushed a few players back.
Bamford for one and Ayling, they've both been rushed back, but everyone else, especially Brown, has been kind of a slow burn for getting into the side. But yeah, there's a Tyler Roberts or Izzy Brown shaped hole in our team now, and one of them will win it. That win the opportunity. It's always great to have competition, but if it's there could be a bigger opportunity for Brown to get in this team. This is now or never for Brown. If he can seize this opportunity and come into the team, start scoring, assisting goals, then his loan spell will be worth it. We might get up, or we'll at least make the playoffs. I don't think we'll fall out the playoffs at this point. I think at minimum, I think we can say now we will make the playoffs. It's whether or not we're going to be one of those 2 teams that makes the leap, but into the automatics. But yeah, this is Brown's opportunity, or it could be Tyler Roberts who goes, right, I played far more minutes than Brown, because Brown's never had a senior appearance. I've got the experience, and I'm going to take this opportunity and get back in the side, score a few goals.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Tyler Roberts, he impressed me a few times when he's played at number 10 already, when he's come on.
He's a classy player, a lot of skill.
But, I mean, yeah, surely it's Izzy Brown's time, though. You know, you'd think now with Roofe's injury, if Izzy Brown doesn't get that number 10 role that Roofe's been playing over the past few weeks, you can't really see a future for Izzy Brown at Leeds United. You'd think probably just a wasted chance.
Brown would never admit it, because I think he seems to be quite a nice bloke, but he will see this injury as an opportunity. He'll never admit that even to the other members of the squad, or even at Bielsa. But I guarantee you, when his friends and family, he'll be saying, "Right, this is my opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
I can seize this."
Definitely. But I mean, Roofe is going to be a big miss. You know, it hasn't been as prolific, the prolific goal scorer that we were used to seeing back in December, of course, for late goals against Aston Villa, against Blackburn. But he's going to be a big miss. You know, it's not just goals that he gives, but he presses it. He leads that forward line. His movement's great. His link-up play is good. He's going to be a massive loss.
His link-up play is superb, and you could see him shouting at Bamford to press Swansea's goalkeeper at the
Jack
weekend.
Harrison as
he was shouting at Jack Harrison. He was saying, "Trust Alioski to mark the fullback. You come forward and have a run at the centre back." When it was to press him as high as possible, you could see him ushering everybody forward. He was clearly leading the front line in a similar way to Pontus Jansson leading the back line. So he's clearly got some leadership skills there, and he's going to be a big miss. You don't lose your top scorer for the season and it not be a big miss. That just doesn't happen. The only positive we can take out of this is a bit like for Bamford. This is your time to shine, mate. If you can go on and score 8 or 9 goals by the end of this, more goals at the end of the season, and get up into the double figures, then we'll be all right. If he struggles a bit, we might have to rely a bit more on Pablo Hernandez, and enough strain is on his shoulders as it is.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Kemar Roofe is going to be a massive miss. It's time for Bamford to step up, but we can't afford him to get injured again. He's been out twice this season. We cannot afford to get Bamford injured again. Is this a thing, though? Should we have strengthened the striker department in the January transfer window? I mean, we have Tyler Roberts, we have Bamford, we have Roofe, but with Bamford's injury record, and then if Kemar Roofe or Tyler Roberts picked up an injury, should we have strengthened there just to give us that, right, if someone's going to be out, we do have someone.
I mean, I know the likes of Derby have like 400 players, so they've always got someone spare to put in the team. It's just ridiculous how many players they've got. Yeah. But 3 strikers should be enough for a championship season. For any other club, it would be enough. You have your main choice, which at the start of the season I think was Bamford, until he got injured, and then you've got Roofe who stepped in and did a marvellous job up until this point, and then you've got Roberts as the kind of understudy who can come in if needed. Every club has that kind of setup. What every club doesn't have is our phenomenally stupid injury record this season.
It just seems to be our luck.
I think it's 46 or 47 injuries this season. That is unprecedented for a team that's 3 points off the top with a game in hand.
Yeah, it just seems to be our bad luck this season. But yeah, I mean, definitely chances for Izzy Brown there to get in the team. Tyler Roberts as well. But it's not all bad though, at least for us fans. It's not good news if you're Andrea Rosani and you're getting £200,000 out of your pocket because of the EFL. But the whole Spygate thing is now over. It's been drawn to a close. The thing that hasn't been stopped being talked about for the past months. So what happened was someone from Leeds United was caught watching Derby County's training a day before the Friday night game that we played against them at Elland Road, a game which Leeds United went on to win 2-0 very convincingly. Frank Lampard, the Derby County manager, and a number of other Championship clubs complained to the EFL saying you need to investigate this, investigate the incident, and so they did. It's taken them until this week to come to that conclusion.
6 weeks.
About something so little. It is absolutely unreal. Now, the EFL they released a statement a few weeks ago saying that they need longer. That frustrated me as it was on the eve of that big game away at Middlesbrough. So it kind of, I know that we ended up getting a good point away from home, but it did kind of distract all us fans away from that. And it was a statement that didn't tell us anything as well. It was a statement that said, all right, we've got nothing to announce. We just need a bit longer. Now this week, Leeds United released.
Essentially, the words to the effect of you can get lost.
Yeah.
But they released a statement, and Leeds have basically gone right. This is.
I mean, Leeds have just rung up and said, all right, we're fed up of talking about this. Just give us a price and we'll pay it just so we can move on from this.
The EFL have essentially, and I'm in two minds about this, because my first opinion was, right, that's not a huge price to pay to put this to bed. We can focus on the league, that's fine. And my other opinion was kind of like, the EFL have essentially extorted 200 grand out of us here for breaking no rules. They've essentially gone, we won't go away unless you give us some money.
Yeah, it is stupid. But the statement that Leeds United announced, at least, said that Leeds have thought to have breached regulation 3.4, which states that in all matters and transactions relating to the league, each club shall behave towards each other club and the league with the utmost good faith.
Which is meaningless.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how we've kind of, breached that regulation, but
that regulation is to do with transfers. that Swansea broke that regulation when they didn't give us Dan James after they agreed a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
that is break, and they signed that stupid letter as well. That letter to the EFL, they signed that letter, and then the EFL have just they're grasping at straws.
Yeah, but Leeds, they've been handed a £200,000 fine, no points deduction.
You can tell how stupid this is and how we've broken no rules, because it's kind of weird that after we've been punished for this, they're going to put a rule in place.
Yeah.
So you can tell there's no rule, because if there was a rule, they wouldn't be putting a new rule in, would they?
Yeah, they're putting a new rule in. So at least they've been handed a £200,000 fine, no points deduction, which I guess is the good thing in all of this, but a bit steep of a fine for me. This, I mean, you look at other clubs, their fans being racist, not players being racist. Yeah, diving, small fines, around £20,000. I mean, you look at Crystal Palace. They got Cardiff City's team lineup a few years ago before their game. What, £20,000 fine? This is 100 times that.
Well, a more serious one was, I saw Sophie Levin on Twitter. If you follow her, if you're a Leeds fan, she posts a lot of Leeds stuff. Sorry for the plug. And Ed's gonna have to have a go at me after we get this. She tweeted basically that Russia got fined 25k at the World Cup for racist chanting. We've been fined about 8 times that. In fact, exactly 8 times that for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that just shows you the
standing on a path.
FA's priorities and the EFL's priorities when it comes to, because have Millwall been punished for that racist chanting yet a few weeks ago?
No, they haven't. It was Tom Cardiff who tweeted, Russia racist chanting, £22,000 fine. Leeds United standing on a public footpath, we've been fined £200,000. It's ridiculous. And say what you want about football clubs being able to afford it, or it's peanuts, even for a championship club, but for me, that's a big chunk out of a possible transfer in the future.
Well, if you think about it, we don't have a player on more than 20 grand a week, do we? No. So that's 10 weeks' wages. That's 2.5 months' wages of probably Bamford's wages, which is a hefty chunk.
Yeah, I mean, it should have never been a fine as well. It should have just been a slap on the wrist and told not to do it again.
The EFL know we're not going to complain, though, because if we complain, it'll drag on. We want this over with, and they know that.
Yeah. Continuing the statement, it says that Leeds have accepted new regulation by the EFL, which says that the clubs can't watch others train 72 hours before a game.
That's silly as well.
I'm kind of okay with, but why not just make it like you can't watch training at all?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Actually, it'd be hilarious if Bielsa just started sending people 4 days before to watch training. That'd be well funny.
There's plenty of other stuff in the statement. Go onto the Leeds United website and read it if you want. But that's just my opinion. Yes, a fine is much better than points deduction, but £200,000 is very, very hefty. I mean, it shouldn't have even been a fine. It's just ridiculous. We've been fined £200,000 for standing on a public path and just watching what's happening in front of us. And we've broken no rules. No laws have been broken.
The thing is that we've mugged off the FA and we've mugged off the EFL, and they've got to look like the big man because that's what they've got the public face, the image. They want to look like, oh yeah, we crack down on things. It's just which is pathetic. But they just want to look like they're cracking down on something that all the moral high ground clambering morons on Sky and.
I mean, there's plenty of other stuff out there that's going wrong in football that you should be looking at.
Way worse stuff.
Not just us standing on a path looking at training. For me, I think it's because of EFL that they don't like us. They don't like Leeds. They want to keep us here because we're bringing the money and the views and the interest for the EFL. But that's another topic. they got on another.
Yeah, it's a debatable conspiracy theory, that one at best.
Yeah, for me, I'm full on into that. But yeah, £200,000 fine for Leeds. Yes, it's very, very big, but at least it's not points deduction. But yeah, for me, just ridiculous. And same with you, Charles, as well.
Cut your losses. 2 fingers to the EFL in the summer when we go up. That'll be all right for me.
Yeah, and then watch the guy who's left the EFL board,
Sean Harvey.
Yeah, watch him.
Former chairman of Leeds United and low life.
Watch him go to Premier League now. We'll go up and he'll be like, all right, join Premier League board then.
But not just Leeds hate him, Aston Villa hate him as well. All the clubs that have been kind of screwed over by this, this new TV deal that gives Championship clubs 20 pence for being bigger than Brighton and Crystal Palace. And I say that with extreme amounts of bitterness. But yeah, the Championship clubs aren't happy about getting given no money for dragging more views than the tin pot clubs in the Premier League. I'm looking at you, Huddersfield.
Yeah, it's just an absolute mess, really. But yeah, that's it. Spygate over with.
Done.
Line under it. We can just move on and focus on.
Never speak about it again, ever.
Focus on other things like our promotion. And let's get on to the game this weekend. Then Leeds United taking on Bolton Wanderers this Saturday with 3 p.m. kick-off. First of 3 games in 6 days, which is just mental. Speak about the Christmas period, but this is like another Christmas period. Thank you very much, Queen's Park Rangers, yet again.
You couldn't just get knocked out, could you, lads?
Yeah.
In the 4th round, like every other Championship club.
Come on, you're not going to win the FA Cup. You're not going to win the FA Cup.
Well, as proven by the fact they got knocked out in the game at the weekend.
You're not going to win the FA Cup, so cheers, QPR. But looking at what Tony Dorigo said in the first interview that we played, saying that he thinks that we're going to give a team a hiding. Reckon it'll be this weekend?
No. We don't give any team a hiding.
we give a few teams a hiding. Preston?
Years ago, mate.
Burton
years ago.
Preston this season.
It feels like years ago.
Yeah. Hopefully it is this weekend. I think this game, anything but a 5-0 win, I'll be unhappy with.
Your standards are way too high, mate. If we win this game 1-0, I will not be bothered. I will not care.
But we need to get the goal difference up, though. We need to get the goal difference.
Yeah, we need to hammer this lot 3-0, but we won't. I'm a realist, mate. I'm a realist. All I care about are the 3 points. The thing is, though, goal difference is meaningless if you have more points than people around you.
Yeah.
That should be our priority.
But goal difference does seem to be a kind of big factor.
If we win every game to the end of this season, no matter what Norwich or Sheffield United or West Brom do, we will win the league.
Yeah, but
we're not going to do that, but...
It's a very big accent and a very tough ask. But Bolton, they've just won 1 game in the last 6.
Until
in the last
now.
9 Championship games, only won 6 games all season. They're one of the worst teams in the divisions. I mean, seeing them last week, yes, they were against Norwich, but they were awful. they were awful. But a very winnable game, this, and we need to win this. Not just stay up at the top, but it's a perfect game to get that goal difference up for me.
The annoying thing is, even if we win this game, we're playing at the same time as everyone else. So if everyone else wins, we'll still be 3 points behind everyone. On the bright side, Norwich and Sheffield United both have hard games. Norwich have got Bristol City, the form team in Europe at the moment, I think, in the league at home, and Sheffield United have got West Brom, which if the football gods are on our side, will be a draw. So as long as we beat Bolton Wanderers. We must. If we don't beat Bolton Wanderers, we don't deserve to be in the top 2.
No,
they're awful.
If we can't beat Bolton, we deserve to be relegated because Bolton really are one of the worst teams in division.
They're shocking. They were shocking at their place.
And I mean, but if Norwich can go away Bolton last Saturday and win 4-0, then another results on Saturday. Sheffield United 4-0 as well. If these teams can win that, we should be beating Bolton.
We need to. The thing is, what Norwich do is they always score loads of first half goals. Like they scored in the first minute against Bolton, and from that point the game's over. Bolton are down.
Yeah.
If Leeds, like the Swansea game, we went 2-0 up. We never thought we were going to drop points in that game, did we? I mean, up until about the 88th minute. Cheers, Luke. But we never. Our record from winning positions is it 14-0? We've won. I don't know why I stammered there. We've won every single game. We've gone ahead in. We've not dropped a single point.
No.
So as long as we score first, we'll be fine.
Yeah, and
as long as we don't concede a stupid set piece, that'll really wind me up. If we concede, if Alioski just legs someone up on the edge of the box and they whip a ball in, and
just don't give away a penalty.
Some League One giant nods it past Casilla, I'm going to be fuming.
Yeah, I'm going to be fuming as well. If if we concede against Bolton, I'll be fuming. If we lose against Bolton, I'll be even more fuming. But yeah, for me, we need to win this, and we need to win this convincingly. Get that goal difference up, get the 3 points, and stay up near the top, and cement our, make our promotion chances even bigger. Part of that window, and if we win this 2 wins in a row, we go on to Queen's Park Rangers away on the Tuesday night, which is very winnable as well. QPR, they've just lost their 7th game in a row. Middlesbrough away this weekend, that could make it 8 losses in a row. We go on to Tuesday night, we could make it 9 losses in a row for them. So, if we go on to Queen's Park Rangers on Tuesday night, very winnable game. That's going to be their 4th game in about 10 days as well. So, if we win that, who knows what kind of run we could go on.
The best teams to play are the ones with inconsistent form, because the teams that are in good form obviously turn up and play well, but the teams in bad form, they've got to turn it around at some point, and that could be against you. The inconsistent teams like Swansea, where you don't know who's going to turn up, they're usually the ones that get turned over, because they when they turn up at Ellen Road, it's but there's no excuses here. There's nothing you can say. We should be beating this lot.
Yeah, definitely. Lineups for you then. Who would you play? Roofe, of course, out injured. Who would you play in that number 10 role?
It's a tough question, that is. It's a game you'd love to see Izzy Brown start, but I think it'll be Tyler Roberts, and I wouldn't mind Tyler Roberts starting.
Yeah, neither would I at all, and that's. I think everywhere else going to be unchanged. Jack Clark.
Yeah,
don't know whether he's going to be back or not.
He's not done full training this week, so he won't be in.
Yeah. But Tyler Roberts, I won't mind if he's number 10. Score predictions then. For the last game, the Swansea game, we predicted 2-1, both me and you, so we got that correct.
We should start giving out lottery numbers, mate. We predict it correctly every week. We predicted the Middlesbrough.
So let's predict something then. It's got to come out right. Come on.
2-0 Leeds.
2-0 Leeds.
First clean sheet for Casilla. First clean sheet in about 10 games. Yeah. I think it's 2-0 Leeds.
I reckon we'll get a clean sheet. I don't think Bolton will score. They seem to just not have any attacking presence at all, really.
Sammy Amiobi, mate. Sammy Amiobi.
I'm gonna go 5-0 Leeds.
Watch him score now.
I'm gonna go 5-0 Leeds.
Seriously?
Yeah, 5-0 Leeds. I want a 5-0. I want a lot of goals. I want a lot of goals in this game. It's a perfect opportunity to do so.
I'd love to see us hammer somebody.
Yeah, I would love to see us hammer someone as well. And I'm going to go 5-0 to Leeds United. That's my score prediction. And hopefully Leeds United can do it. And who knows, going on to West Brom.
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, West Brom on the Friday night. And if we win this one, win a winnable game against Queen's Park Rangers, we're going to that great form, 3 wins in a row. Who knows?
Well, hopefully not be tired though.
Yeah, who knows what could happen. But that brings us to the end of this podcast. Thank you very much for listening as always. Thank you to Charles, as always, for joining me.
Cheers.
Yeah, really do appreciate it. Like I said, thanks to everyone who's downloaded and listened. Really do appreciate it. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Please do it. 5-star review on iTunes. Please do it if you can. Also, don't forget to follow All Things Leeds on all our social media pages. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. Now, we will be back next week, so make sure you listen. And we'll see you later.